New Kids on the Block, our featured artist today. We've got the world premiere of their latest video tonight, twice this morning at 8 and 9 a.m. Eastern Pacific Time, and a very special interview with John Norris interviewing 4 out of 5 members of the band. Come on, 9:30 a.m. Eastern in Pacific Time, 8:30 Central. Now, here's a fun fact for maybe those of you less initiated to the New Kids phenomena. The original name of the group was Nanook, and they weren't really very keen on it. And when they eventually signed their big record deal, they took the name New Kids on the Block, which has kind of a rhythm all its own, for a rap song that Donnie had written. And everybody kind of fresh and kind of behind that. Now, being an all-male group and a young one, obviously the majority of the New Kids on the Block fans are girls, NKOTB. How do they feel about the strong, silent minority of male fans, though?
I think, you know, if you're a boy, and if you got all, I mean, if you're a guy, the girls, no matter what, are going to respond more. So, but it is flattering to see guys respond because, you know, they like you for what you're doing.
And I think a lot of guys, you know, like our music and stuff like that, but they don't want to show it as much.
Yeah.
Because they think the other guys that want to show it will go up to them and say, why are you showing it?
There you have it. We'll be hearing from them all morning long. In the meantime, this is John Bon Jovi, who, if he'd come along a little bit later, might have been a new kid himself. This is Blaze of Glory. To New Kid on the Block Saturday, our featured artist this morning on MTV. Over the last 3 years, New Kids have performed about 600 times live, 600 times in 1,000 days. One of the first appearances, by the way, was on Deer Island Prison in Massachusetts, and it was back when they were wearing little gold lame jackets and white pants. I'm sure it was a big hit. Anyway, a lot has happened on the road. They've had 3 of their albums on the charts simultaneously. They've toured all 50 states. They've been to Japan, in Europe. You know, it's been a great way to see the world as a popular singing group. Unfortunately, they have not been able to sit back and just, you know, roll in their success. They never get to go sightseeing on the road. And last month, Donnie fell off the stage. Ouch. And according to Jonathan Knight, this is another side of touring that the audience just isn't aware of.
A lot of people see entertainers and they like say, wow, they're so lucky, you know. But I don't think they really know what we go through, you know, riding on the buses, trying to sleep on the buses at night, trying to sleep at night and kids knocking on your doors, and when you want to shop in the shopping mall and just pick out clothes and, you know, everybody's following you around and stuff. But then it also has its good points, too, you know. You get up on stage and you got everybody screaming for you, and it's just such a good feeling.
In fact, it's such a good feeling that for Jonathan, he's known to stay after the show and just help the roadies pack up. You know, gotta say, that's a nice guy. All right, now let's go back in time to the year 1984 when producer Maurice Starr put the New Kids together. He was looking for a Donny Osmond type who could be a young singer, could hit those really high notes. Well, before puberty set in, he found what he was looking for in Joe McIntyre. Now, here's an example of the very first video from New Kids on the Block. Please don't go, girl. The world premiere of the New Kids on the Block video tonight is on the way, just beginning of the next hour. One-on-one, also in the New Kid on the Block vein. Half-an-hour in-depth interview. John Norris interviews 4 of the 5 New Kids. Jonathan couldn't make it. Sorry. He had other things to do. I don't know. Maybe he had to study. I don't know. Anyway, so that's this morning at 9:30 in Eastern Time and Pacific Time, 8:30 Central. Presently in the works, you're saying, well, what are the New Kids, what are their irons in the fire now? There's a cartoon series working on, and a movie. Yes, the New Kids on the Block movie. They saved the planet from evil aliens or something like that. Batman producers Peter Gruber and John Peters are in on this project. And, you know, they've got the zots to really bring this one home. So I'd be looking for it in theaters maybe tomorrow. I mean, you know. There's also this 900 number that you can call to get, you know, the real dirt, the inside dope. What are they thinking about? What's going on for them in their heads? And part of the proceeds of this 900 line go to United Cerebral Palsy, unlike the Corey and Corey line. Anyway, with so many projects going on, do they see life beyond the band? What is there besides the band for the New Kids? Well, this is what Joe McIntyre predicts for himself and his bandmates.
Honestly, I think I'll be doing a movie, and I think, let me see, I'll go down the line. I think I'll be doing a movie. Danny will probably be producing. I think he'll be producing. Donnie will probably be either doing on TV or solo. Jordan will definitely be doing solo. And John, he can go anyway. He can go either way. I don't know where he's going to be, but I think we're always going to stay together. We're still going to be the New Kids on the Block. And no matter what, I think we're still going to keep coming back, and hopefully our fans will too.
Let's do the New Kid dance. Oh, Grandpa, sit down. You'll hurt yourself again. Yeah, when we get together, you just let us dance. Out of all the New Kid songs, the next video is their most meaningful. It's from their Merry Christmas album, which was recorded in various hotel rooms while they're on tour. This one's for the children. Guys, they're girls, they're T-shirts, they're music. And at 9:30 coming up, John Norris goes one-on-one and interviews 4 of the 5 New Kids on the Block. In the meantime, a song they've just added to their current world tour. This is Tonight, a premiere from New Kids on the Block. Morning of New Kids on the Block. And MTV newsman John Norris will have a little interview with him. He sat down with a full 80% of New Kids on the Block for a one-on-one interview. One new kid at a time. Jonathan had to catch a burger or something. I don't know what his problem was. It's coming up at 9:30 in Eastern Pacific Time, 8:30 Central. Music. They're a musical group. Well, what kind of music do they listen to? Each member listens to different artists. Jonathan grew up listening to The Who and the Bee Gees. Jordan loved to sing Mozart when he was in his church choir. And we know that Donnie is a big fan of Public Enemy and many other rap groups. But they all agree on one performer, Paula Abdul. They had a chance to meet her at the American Music Awards this year when they were presenters. And they actually won a couple awards themselves, favorite group and favorite pop rock album. And this is what they had to say about meeting Ms. Abdul.
She's very attractive herself. She's fly. No, don't start saying anything.
Huh? If it's going to get me anywhere, I have a crush on Paula Abdul, too.
I respect her.
I don't want him to get it.
Hold on.
Because I don't want him to be...
No, she was the first one to kiss me. Out of all of us.
But who gave her the American Music Award?
No, but she
But
knew
who
my
gave her the
name.
American Music Award?
And
she said, thank you, Joe.
And I had the
She
lipstick
said, oh,
on.
thank you, Joe, when I gave her the American
I had the
Music Award.
lipstick. The lipstick was right here. I got a
She
picture
didn't
of
know
it.
my name.
Yeah.
She didn't know my name, so.
She said, thank you, Joe.
But I respect her as a performer. I think she's a very
She
good
said,
performer.
thank you, Joe.
She didn't know me.
Fellas.
Oh, that's cold. Paula Abdul now was knocked out. New Kids on the Block are also currently on tour. They got a 4.5-hour show. It's like seeing the dead, man. And there's 3 opening acts. Rick West, Perfect Gentleman. How's that? Mom, the Perfect Gentleman will be there. All right. And also Tommy Page. And if you haven't seen New Kids live, then maybe it's about time. Now, the show is geared toward sort of a young pop audience, but people of all ages enjoy their shows, as Donnie Wahlberg here explains.
The music and the style and the performance just, I mean, I'm sure it has its limitations, but when we do a show, I mean, at the beginning of the show, you'll see the young girls sitting there, and you'll see their mother, you know, the young girls will be standing up screaming, the mother will be sitting there like this, and the father, and then by the end of the show, the father's, you know, dancing around and stuff. I mean, we see it all the time. I think it's just a matter of, really, I mean, again, to me, it just comes back to looking into things, not just assuming anything about anyone or any...
Later this morning, MTV is pleased to present One-on-One, an in-depth interview with New Kids on the Block. John Norris is your host, and he'll talk with each of them, except for Jonathan, about their success and their future as a band and just what's going on in their heads. One-on-One, New Kids on the Block, this morning at 9:30 in Eastern Pacific Time, 8:30 Central. And up next is the title track from their most successful album to date, Step by Step. There are 2 versions of this video, and the one you'll see is a black and white one. The other one was shot black and white and then colorized the same way that Ted Turner does, you know, old John Wayne movies. The very same system. The Duke, Donnie, colorized the exact same way. Now, although they struggled with their first self-titled album, wasn't a big... Well, their current album, Step by Step, went straight to #1 as soon as the release. 2 weeks to #1, which hasn't happened since Bon Jovi, I'm told. Now, for Donnie Wahlberg, for New Kids, the most fun was getting to #1.
Step by Step is already the #1 album in the country, and it feels great. But, you know, when when success comes so quickly, it kind of like, you know, goes quickly. You know, I like the way that Hangin' Tough climbed and climbed and climbed, and after like 60 weeks, it finally made it to #1. You know, that was very rewarding, because that album had a lot of meaning to us. You know, I mean, when our first album flopped, we all just sat down, you know, Maurice and us, and we were just like, man, we gotta come back and make something happen. And you know, it was really that type of project where we all really sat down and thought about it, and thought about the way we really wanted to project ourselves and stuff like that. And
Kids on the Block world premiere of the brand new video in about 5 minutes tonight. It's the second video from Step by Step. And in just about a half hour, John Norris goes one-on-one, mano-a-mano with New Kids on the Block. You see that at 9:30 in the Eastern Time Pacific, 8:30 Central. Talented bunch of guys is what we're saying here. New Kids on the Block, all natural, well-rounded performers. They were strutting their stuff years before they became New Kids in the Block. Joe was actually a stage actor singing in Oliver, just like Davy Jones. At the age of 6, he was singing in Oliver. Jonathan and Jordan were members of Boston's Royal School of Church Music. And Donnie was rapping back in junior high, and Danny was a popular breakdancer in Boston. Now, all 5 have a natural facility learning songs and dance moves quickly and easily, and here's Jordan's rendition now, just to drive this home, doing Humpty Dance from Digital Underground.
This is your chance to do that.
Come on,
One-on-one with Donnie, Danny, Joe, and Jordan as New Kids on the Block, and interviewed by John Norris. That's at 9:30 in the Eastern Pacific, 8:30 Central. Meantime, lots of New Kids. Here's their Beatle-influenced debut hit tonight. On the Block. John Norris sat down with the guys and asked them about their careers and being on the road and possible solo careers and so much more. One-on-one with 4 of 5 New Kids on the Block this morning at 9:30 in Eastern Pacific, 8:30 Central. A lot of books have now been written about New Kids on the Block, but if you want the truth, the official truth, you have to check out the official autobiography, Our Story, New Kids on the Block. And it has all this stuff in here, like what they wear sometimes, and it's got a lot of quotes and pictures of the little kids, and some of them were pretty chunky, I gotta tell you. But there have been other books written as well, unauthorized biographies, like this one, The Lives and Loves of New Kids on the Block, talking about problems they've had with the law and their supposed marriages, and hints about how to meet them, like this chapter heading, how to increase your chances of meeting them with a capital T. Well, this is just checking into the hotel that they're going to stay in. Don't call a hotel. Call like a radio station or a newspaper and find out where they're going to be staying. And then check in a couple of days ahead, and then just hang out by the ice machine. Just wait until they show up. Or get a room just above them and cut a hole in the floor like, you know, Wile E. Coyote or something. Anyway, here's what the guys had to say about some of their past living arrangements on the road.
Because we used to share rooms for about a year.
He's the only one that
I don't like being alone.
I kind of like it.
I don't like it.
You know, we're together constantly, and then it's just like...
At night, you could just turn on your radio and just...
Yeah. Sometimes, like, we'll let's go back together.
That's where the individuality comes in, because I know when I would share a room with Danny or Joe or something, we'd put on the stereo, and Danny'd be like, yeah, let's listen to Guy or some Levert or something. I'd be like, no, let's listen to Public Enemy. And Joe wants to listen to Frank Sinatra.
No, but I'd have, and he's the messy one. He's always messy.
Me
I'd have
and
my
Joe
neat little pile. Me and Danny were the perfect couple. Because we had our little corners, we had our little packages, we were packed every day. And then Donnie was like, Donnie and Jordan, it was like war. You walked into their room and
their clothes is everywhere. They unpack everything and just throw it on the floor.
And then like...
Sometimes they can't even get it back on right side out. And what's this about who's messy? It seems that they all used to throw water balloons outside their windows, but that was just for fun. We'll have more from New Kids on the Block after this. Right now, this is Poison with Unskinny Bob. just about 10 minutes. Oh, bite a nail. 10 minutes, a special half-hour interview with New Kids in the Block. Danny, Donnie, Jordan, and Joe. Oh, Jonathan had to go donate a kidney to an underprivileged child or something, so he couldn't be there for the interview. So that's coming very shortly. You get to find out all about him. Now, having been a professional act for the past 6 years, a good chunk of their lives, members of New Kids started out with just a passing interest in music. Now that they've been exposed to business, they've learned quite a deal over the past few years.
But we've learned everything from engineering in the studio, producing, writing, the management side, all about contracts and everything. We've learned as much as we can, you know, and we're going to keep on continuing to learn. And just a lot of people will just say, oh, they're kids, they don't know what's going on. Everyone's guiding them, everyone's telling them what to do. There are people guiding us, but we're learning from them people. So maybe someday we could be a manager or a producer or a writer.
You just can't capture that in plastic. Stay tuned for One-on-One. John Norris talks to Donnie, Danny, Jordan, and Joe. That's in just about 10 minutes. Some more facts from the guys you might want to know. Danny Wood actually attended Boston University on a scholarship for a semester during the early days of New Kids. And Joe McIntyre was not an original New Kid. Donnie's friend named Jamie Kelly was the 5th New Kid, but he left the band because he just couldn't commit his heart to it. Right now, the New Kids on the Block, New Kids on the Block, and New Kids on the Block. Their hopes, their dreams, their videos, their hairstyles. John Norris takes a close-up, personal look at them in a half-hour special at 9:30 a.m. Right now, here's a world premiere video, Tonight.